In this example, we need to solve and write the solution in interval notation of this problem that we have here. Well, what type of problem is it? If you notice, there's one inequality here and another inequality here. So it's a compound inequality, and what's the highest degree on the x? It's a 1, so it's a linear compound inequality. There are several different ways for solving these. I'm going to use the most efficient method that I have shown here. And as you can see, to solve a compound inequality of this form, you must isolate the variable in the middle by performing operations to all three parts of the inequality. To use this method, your numbers have to go from least to greatest. Is that true? Is negative 23 less than negative 18? Yes. And you have to have less thans or less than or equal to as your inequalities. Is that true? Yes. Therefore, I can use this method here. So I'm going to isolate the x in the middle. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is add 3. And remember, you have to add 3 to the left-hand side, the middle, and the right-hand side. And remember, adding and subtracting numbers to an inequality does not change the inequality symbols. So negative 23 plus 3 is negative 20, is less than. The negative 3 plus 3 in the middle add up to 0, so I just get left with 5x, is less than or equal to negative 18 plus 3 is negative 15. So now I need to get x all by itself in the middle, so I'm going to have to divide each part by positive 5. And when you divide an inequality by a positive number, does that change the inequality symbols? No. That only happens when you divide an inequality by a negative number. So I have negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4, is less than. My 5's reduce. I just get left with x all by itself in the middle, which is what I want, is less than or equal to negative 15 divided by 5 is negative 3. So I have solved my inequality. And now I need to write it in interval notation, so it helps to graph it first. So the numbers I'm interested in are negative 4 and negative 3. And be careful, remember negative 4 is less than negative 3. And now when you have an inequality set up like this, where your numbers go from least to greatest with less than or equal to, this means x lies in between these two numbers. So I want to shade the region in between negative 4 and negative 3. And can I include negative 4 as part of my solution? No, there's no equals on the negative 4, so I'm going to use a parentheses on the negative 4. But negative 3 is part of the solution because of this equals here. So I'm going to use a square bracket on the negative 3. So what does my interval look like? It starts with parentheses, negative 4, comma, negative 3 with a square bracket on it. So that means any number in between negative 4 and negative 3 and including negative 3 but not including negative 4 is a solution to this inequality.